Hi, my name is Afifah Zuhairah Binti Zuhaidi.
Hi, my name is AFZA Binti Yusuf.
My name is HURIL'AIN binti KAMARUZAMAN.
Hi, my name is AININ binti Muhammad SAYUTHI.
Climate change is an alteration in the weather patterns that affect the Earth in the long term. These alterations are driven by human activities, particularly fossil fuel burning, which increases heat-trapping greenhouse gas levels in the atmosphere. This leads to more frequent flooding from high tides and storm surges. We already see the effects of climate change, such as melting glaciers, which contribute to global sea level rising. On top of that, when the temperature increases, more evaporation occurs, which in turn increases the overall precipitation. These alterations are raising the incidence of accidents, illnesses, and fatalities related to various climate-sensitive health issues. So climate change will bring new and emerging health issues including heat waves and other extreme events. Heat stress can make working conditions unbearable and increase the risk of cardiovascular, respiratory, and renal diseases. Furthermore, malnutrition and undernutrition were highlighted as a concern for a number of developing countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, which discussed the impacts of climate change on food security, particularly in relation to floods and drought. If the community is to be prepared to handle this unprecedented threat to world health, they must be aware of the variety of health hazards that climate change brings to their health.
Next, I will move on to the problem statement. The effects of climate change on human health are more detrimental than beneficial. For instance, people with weaker immune systems are more susceptible to illness, especially when it's brought on by climate change, which is happening all around us. Due to growing human populations, the effects of climate change will have a considerably greater impact in the future. Rising air temperatures, cold and heat waves, negative effects on agricultural output, frequent floods, and many more climate change instances will result in a lack of medical care as the need for treatment increases to cure the victims of climate change. Afterwards, I will talk about the objectives of this research, which are 1. To explain the connection between the harmful consequences of climate change on human health. Another objective is to present a complete overview of climate change and its harmful effects on health in our rapidly changing world. And lastly, to assess the information on how climate change impacts people's health and offer potential solutions.
The research design for this study was an experimental research design. This research design is the process of carrying out research in an objective and controlled fashion so that precision is maximized and specific conclusion can be drawn regarding a hypothesis statement. Generally, the purpose is to establish the effect the factor or independent variable has on a dependent variable. The study's independent and dependent variable are respectively the causes of climate change and its consequences on health and their effect on health. Next, for this research, UiTM Arau served as the study boundary location. The population of the study consists of the Part 5 student of the Faculty Mathematical Sciences in UiTM Arau. The total of students from Part 5 for this faculty is 150 students. Furthermore, the sample of our study is students from each class in Part 5 of the Faculty of Mathematical Sciences at UiTM Arau, which are from RCS 1435A, RCS 1435B, RCS 1435C, RCS 1435D, RCS 1435E, and RCS 1435F. For the sample size for each class are 8 students from class RCS 1435A, 11 students from RCS 1435B, 20 students from RCS 1435C, 7 students from RCS 1435D, 9 students from RCS 1435E, and 5 students from RCS 1435F. Simple random sampling is the sampling design that we use to conduct our research. Simple random sampling is a type of a probability sampling in which the researcher randomly select a subset of participants from a population. Each member of the population has an equal chance of being selected. We distribute the link to our questionnaire to Part 5 students in the Faculty of Mathematical Sciences, and for those who want to fill out the form are willingly answering the form. Moreover, for the data collection method, we are using an online survey method. Nowadays, this method is always used to collect data because the majority of students that have access to the internet prefer to answer survey online instead of using interview. After that, to collect responses, we create a Google form and the link will be shared via social media platform such as a group WhatsApp. The process of preparing raw data is one of the data preparation. We must process the raw data so that it will be suitable for further processing and analysis. Data editing, data coding, and data entry are the 3 steps of data preparation. For this study, we use SPSS, which is a powerful statistics software platform. In SPSS, all data that we insert will be automatically checked by the software system. If there is an error, it will appear what we must do. For this research, we use descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. For descriptive statistics, we use to collect the basic characteristic of this research. We use bar chart, pie chart, and frequency table to represent the data that we collect. For this data analysis, we also use SPSS to get the chart. This descriptive statistic is used as it is an easier way to interpret and to understand. For the inferential statistic, we use one sample t-test for the question that asks an action for climate change. We use one sample t-test because we want to know the answer of the population, as we have just a sample size of 60. Other than that, we use an independent sample t-test. From this, we have got do not reject the null hypothesis, which means the variance are equal.
Next, let us look at the results and analysis obtained. For descriptive analysis, we can see that there are 78.3% of respondents who choose yes, which is about 47 respondents. Then, 6 respondents, which is 10% of the total respondents, did not know about climate change, and the rest were not sure about climate change. There are many students that are aware about climate change. One of the questions from our questionnaire says that, do you think climate change is caused by human activities? This is to analyze whether the respondents understand human behavior towards our climate change. The results that we got shows most of the respondents agree with the statement. However, there are 5 respondents who are very neutral on that question and 1 respondent who disagrees. Next, one sample t-test is used for inferential statistics. On this part, we choose the question which is, have you ever taken or do you regularly take any action out of concern for climate change to study people's action to reduce climate change? So from the total of 60 respondents, we got the average of 1.6667. The lower boundaries is 1.4725 and the upper boundaries is 1.8608. Lastly, for inferential statistics, we have independent sample t-test. We use leaving test. The H null claims that the variance are equal, while H alternative states that the variance are not equal. We should reject H null if the p-value is less than alpha. So we have a p-value which is 0.053 and alpha is 0.05. The result we got is a p-value greater than alpha. So do not reject H null and the variance are equal.
In a nutshell, this research project has shown a significant relationship between students' health issues and climate change. Furthermore, there is no significant difference between students' social origin and their concern about climate change. That means student backgrounds do not affect their understanding on climate change. Furthermore, climate change is indeed a case that should be taken seriously. Since it is mainly caused by human behavior, we need to take responsibility for that. More than half of the students who took the survey were very clear on what to do to tackle climate change. Most of our respondents were also aware of climate change.